The guitar part's supposed to come in there, but I'm just sitting by myself in my room, so there's no playing guitar, but we are playing bass. The sun is shining, it's a nice day outside, we're almost at the month of May, and we are learning the intro to My Girl. Now this is probably maybe my favorite few seconds of music of all time, because it's this moment of hearing a super cool, influential bass line that's just got an incredible tone, and today we're going to try to achieve that. Now, the intro to My Girl is fantastic. Absolutely love it. I don't know if it was palm muted because I was not in the studio when James Jamerson played it. However, if you are playing a modern bass through a modern amplifier and you're trying to get that classic tone, this is a really great way to do it. Now, we have a lot of different playing techniques and styles when we're playing bass, and we primarily usually go with our, traditional two-finger plucking technique where we're using our index and middle finger. But if we try to play the bass line, the notes are right, but the feel is just a little too bright. There it is. That's what you want. Darker tone, rounder notes, lots of warmth. Palm muting and playing with our thumb is the way to do that. So let's talk a little bit about how to get this technique and how to get this tone. Now, like I said before, traditionally when we learn playing bass, we go with our two-finger technique, index and middle. However, we are now going to be using our thumb. This is a little bit of a meatier finger. We have a little bit more control. Your nail won't get in the way quite so much, and we want to pluck with that finger instead. At the same time, rather than having our thumb anchored on the pickup like we might normally do, because we're playing with it, we're going to have our hand anchored somewhere else. And we're actually going to be palm muting. So this is a technique that is very common with guitar, where, you might use the palm to kind of like play some dead notes, especially if you're playing like punk rock. But what we're really doing here is we're using our palm, kind of this back part of our hand, to go right by the bridge, and what that does is it helps us control the duration of our notes. Now, you may see some bass players that have maybe like a piece of foam or something down by the bridge, and that's one way that you can control the duration of your notes. But you can also do that with your palm. And what we're really doing is we're just making sure that the strings don't vibrate and ring out quite so much. By using our palm, we're able to control the decay of the note. So you can hear the difference between playing a note and having it ring and having like a really long decay, or palm muting and having a really short decay. You hear how it kind of plays the note and then goes and decays very quickly. That is one of the benefits of this technique. So what I'm doing is, I'm taking this kind of back part of my palm and I'm placing it right before the bridge. So not on the bridge. You don't want to kind of get your hand on the bridge, because if you do so, you'll kind of run into the screws that are there. But if you kind of come maybe about an inch from the bridge, you can put the side of your hand here, and then your thumb will be right there. If you pretend that you're holding a pick like so, that's a great way to start with this technique. But you want your palm to be about an inch or so from the bridge, and then our thumb over. And I like to keep my other fingers, you can see my index and my middle finger are kind of here, kind of curled under. That's also helping with muting, and if I want to be able to play a more intricate line, I have them there at the ready. But for right now, we're really just going to focus on using our thumb, getting the appropriate amount of pressure with our palm, and playing this bass part. Now, as I said before, we're right here by the bridge. We're using our thumb to pluck, and when we do so, we kind of want to pluck down and at an angle. So if you find yourself, like if you find your elbow out, you're doing it wrong. You want your elbow kind of in, and you want to kind of pluck through the string. You don't want to come to rest on any of the strings. So one of the things is when we're playing fingerstyle, a lot of times we'll strike through the string and then come and rest on the string behind it. As we are doing this thumb technique, we're not doing that. We're just going to play through the string and get a nice solid tone. I'm definitely using this kind of like front part of my thumb here, the real fleshy part of my thumb tip. And you can just start playing this kind of thing. It's kind of got like a Just My Imagination Motown-y vibe as well. But you can hear how we're definitely controlling the duration of the note, and it's not as bright sounding as fingerstyle. Now, to play the intro to My Girl, the cool thing is we're playing in the key of C, and all we're doing is we're starting on the 5th scale degree. So if you think about a C major scale, you go to the 5th note, G. We're playing that note, the G, and then we're landing on C, the 1. So we're going 5, 1, 1. G, C, C. Again, if we played fingerstyle, it's pretty bright sounding. So I'm playing G, C, C. And as soon as I throw my thumb into the mix and my palm, we have that intro part right there. Now I'm doing one other thing to make it, you know, kind of feel like real close to the record, which is making sure that I'm controlling my note decay from both sides. Now we've already talked a little bit about how just by using our palm to mute, that kind of controls the decay of the note from this hand, but we can also do so with this hand, where when I play the root note twice, remember we're going 5, 1, 1. When I play that 1 the second time, the C, I'm making sure that I do lift up this finger so that the note stops. If I didn't do that, the note would keep ringing out. And you hear how it's got this legato nature where the notes kind of like roll into each other. We don't really want that. We want to kind of separate our notes. We want to have good control over our note decay, and we want to have complete control over our note duration. Again, we're just waiting for that guitar part to come in. So this is a great way to get that classic Motown sound, to practice that thumb and palm mute technique, and it's just like a wonderful thing to integrate into your bass playing so that you have the flexibility to go back and forth between different techniques. So I hope you found this helpful. Practice this, see if you can come up with other bass lines, or see if you can emulate the tone of other records, because that's a really great way to add diversity to your playing. So check out my Patreon page for more goodies, tab notation for other videos and special insights, and check out ryanmedora.com for everything else. Happy practicing, everybody, and keep it groovy.